Today, I am talking about 15 different micro habits that you can do to improve your financial life. They are micro, little teeny tiny, in the sense that they are very easy and simple to incorporate. And if done consistently over time and you build these habits, they will make noticeable differences in your finances. Hello and welcome. For those new to my channel, my name is Lissa. I'm a personal finance expert and an accredited financial counselor. I'm also the co-host of brand new NetNet podcast where we talk about the hidden costs of so many different things in life. So make sure you check it out and let me know what you think. All right, so I have grouped these 15 habits into 5 categories because you know me, I love lists. So these are the 5 categories we're gonna go through. Now, one quick mini tip before I jump into this list. For most people, do not try to incorporate all of these habits all at once. When I work with clients, I find that it takes time to build a habit, especially because we all come from different financial backgrounds. And oftentimes, if you try to change too much all at once, it might lead to not sticking to any of the habits at all. So pick and choose and see what works for you. All right, the first bucket, organization. Habit number 1, unsubscribe to emails as they come in. So we all end up on mailing lists to companies and organizations that we didn't actively subscribe to. And it's simply because we gave our email address to get a discount, or we created an account, or who knows how else they got our information. A lot of our data is floating out there. It's kind of scary, but that's besides the point. So what I'm talking about is decluttering your inbox, especially when it comes to ads. So if you subscribe to things and emails that you genuinely like, that you want, that you need, or maybe there are educational components versus just advertisements, then obviously stay subscribed if you want to. But besides that, we're always getting sold to like advertisements in our face all day, every day. So make it a habit as emails come in and you see advertisements in your inbox, decide whether or not you want to stay on or unsubscribe. All right, habit number 2 to stay organized is cancel subscriptions. That is when you get charged or you realize that you're subscribed to something that you don't use, maybe you forgot to cancel it, then don't put it off. Do it immediately or the same day and make sure you unsubscribe. Otherwise, you might forget until next month again and then you get charged over and over again. And if you don't plan on using it and you've already been charged, try to talk to the vendor and see if they can refund the charge that just hit. All right, moving on, habit number 3, delete shopping apps. So I don't have a statistic on this, but I was just on Reddit reading how so many people have like over 100 apps on their phone. That's a lot. That's a lot of apps. Now, the thing is, specific to shopping apps, especially if you have notifications turned on, you're gonna be subject to more ads and temptation. Obviously, this doesn't apply to you if you're already good at ignoring all those things, but for others, this could be a good strategy to not spend on things you don't actually need. You can always re-download an app if you end up needing it later, especially the ones that you rarely use, so you might want to uninstall those. And if you have apps that you do tend to use more often and, downloading them every time is annoying, then just make sure you turn off notifications. Habit number 4, stack all of your financial papers or to-dos related to your finances in one place. So you can use a folder. I have these cute trays that I use. Sometimes I put the folder in the tray. All right.
A few moments later.
The point is, decluttering in real life is just as important as decluttering your digital life. So if you can create a simple system to stay organized, you're gonna be less likely to miss payments, you're gonna be less likely to lose important documents like tax documents, etc. All right, next bucket, the mindset bucket. These are habits related to improving your money mindset. Habit number 5, when you're shopping, ask yourself, what value is this gonna bring to me? So when you're deciding whether or not to spend money on something, it's something super quick that you can do in 2 seconds in your head. Notice I'm not saying to ask yourself, do I need this? Which is what we tend to do. I think we sometimes overly focus on the utility that we get out of something compared to its price, and obviously that's an important thing to think about. But I think we also need to understand the value of something and how that value aligns with our lives. For example, you might not need a second charger for your phone, but you keep going back to that potential purchase because you know that having it is going to make life so much easier for you. You'll be able to leave one charger at home and bring one with you in your purse instead of always forgetting to pack it with you into your purse anytime you go somewhere. So if that itself feels valuable to you, that convenience, then you might justify your purchase and be happy with it, and you won't feel guilt about it later. On the other hand, let's say money is super tight and yes, you value convenience, but maybe you value something else even more, like the security of building up your emergency fund, or you value being debt-free, so you'd rather put that money towards paying off debt. Maybe those priorities are more valuable to you than this convenience, so you skip the purchase for now. Finance is a game of trade-offs, but building up this super small habit of thinking about values and what's important to you is going to help you make better financial decisions in the long run that you don't feel guilty about. Number 6, practice gratitude. I don't care if you say it out loud or you say it in your head, but when money comes your way or any other blessings that add value to your life, whenever those things come your way, practice gratitude. This is going to come in handy the more abundance comes into your life. It'll actually attract more abundance as well. Because rather than taking it for granted when you do have it, you're going to be grateful and you're going to make smart decisions with that new money, that new abundance in your life. And it's going to be this cycle of improving your quality of life. So practice gratitude. This is not just going to help your finances, but it's going to help you in life in general. Habit number 7, write down your money goals. So this sounds so simple, but make it a habit to define your financial goals and actually write them out. When they're in your head, you can easily forget about them. You can easily push them out until later. You can easily forget what your priorities are. But I truly believe that when you create a physical manifestation of your goals by writing them down, having them on paper, something you can look at, I truly believe that will get you one step closer to making them real. And then not only that, it's going to be easier for you to go further and create a game plan. You can think about what smaller steps can you take to reach those bigger goals. All right, number 8, this is a fun one. This habit is to detach from beliefs of being broke. Hear me out. What this is doing is countering the habit of identifying and associating with being broke. So I personally struggle with this one because it is so deep rooted in me to associate with being broke. I didn't come from a lot of money, and even when I started my career and started to make more money, I didn't know a lot about personal finance, and I lived paycheck to paycheck for a very long time. So the habit that I want you to build is to stop associating yourself with being broke, especially if your environment is trying to pull you that way, if your environment is trying to tell you you're broke. So here are 2 more concrete real-life examples of what I mean. Number 1, you might have friends or other people around you who like to commiserate together or joke about being broke. Now, I'm not saying you have to break up with these particular friends, but I do think you can make it a habit for yourself to not engage in those conversations, to just walk away, or to just ignore it and kind of tell yourself in your head that that's not me. I don't identify with that. And 2, another example, don't like or share memes that joke about being broke. All right, this on the surface, I know, seems like I'm being very nitpicky about something so nuanced and so random. But this is something that I truly noticed after I started improving my money mindset. I realized like it was this ongoing joke, this ongoing kind of community that I felt a part of, like that we could all complain about being broke and not having enough. And I realized that was negatively affecting my money mindset. So here's the thing, if you feel broke right now, or if you ever have in the past, and you know what I'm talking about, joking about it is probably funny. It probably connects you with other people, is very humbling. It's very self-deprecating. But my guess is that ultimately, you don't actually want to be broke. You want to build wealth, which is why you're on my channel, why you're watching this video. So this is just my reminder to you that if you don't want to feel broke or you don't want to become broke, then it will help you from a mindset perspective to stop identifying with it. All right, moving on. Let's move on to the next bucket, which is learning. So micro habits related to learning. Number 9, jot it down. Not sure what something means? Maybe someone mentioned to you that they put money into their HSA or a Roth IRA, and you're over here wondering if it's something you should be doing as well. Instead of ignoring it or forgetting it, all I'm saying is write it down, jot it down. Maybe put it in your notes app on your phone. So something random that I used to do before was I kept a spreadsheet of things to look up on Wikipedia. So this was unrelated to finance. I would hear things like on TV or from other people. I'd hear names like Ernest Hemingway or Oliver Wendell Holmes. And I'd be like, I feel like I should know who that is, but I don't. So I'm gonna write it down and look it up later. Basically, it was a list of all these old white dudes that I had to do research on for no particular reason, but that is besides the point. My point is give money and finance and wealth that same energy of, I feel like I should know that, but I don't, so let me write it down and I'm gonna go look it up later. It's okay to not know things, to not understand things. There are so many random ass things in finance that it's hard to keep up with all of it. But at the very least, keep a running list so that when you do have time, you can ask someone about it, you can talk about it, you can look it up, and you can do your own research. All right, micro habit number 10, also related to learning, is have a go-to finance podcast, or 2 or 3. So as busy as all of us are, most people typically have some downtime or time to multitask by listening to something. I don't think all multitasking is good, but sometimes you can do 2 things at once, right? Listening to music or a podcast is one of those things you can do on your commute, whether you're walking, whether you're in a car, or whether you're taking public transportation. You can also listen to music or a podcast while you're taking a walk or cleaning the house or cooking dinner. So I'm not saying you have to replace all of your music listening time with finance podcasts, but maybe you can do it once a week. Maybe you can build a habit to always learn something new related to finance. If you're not sure where to start, then might I remind you, I have a podcast. Check it out. It's called Net. I'll link to it up here. All right, we're moving along. Let's go to the next bucket, which are micro habits related to automation. These are pretty simple and straightforward. Number 11, saving. Automate your savings by paying yourself first and start it with your next paycheck if it's not something you already do. So this is as simple as setting up a direct deposit or an automatic transfer, even if it's a small amount, into its own savings account. So a lot of people like to use high yield savings accounts, which are online savings accounts. What you want to do is to start building up this savings account, whether it is your emergency fund or other savings that you need, but you're building the habit of doing it on a regular basis. And the good part about this habit is once you set it up, you don't really have to do anything else after it. You just get used to it. And very much related to that, number 12, automate your investing. So this is something you can start once you have other things in place, like you've paid off your high interest debt, you have an emergency fund, you have other savings, because you don't want to pull your investments prematurely. There are different ways and different strategies to approach investing on a regular automated basis, but a popular beginner strategy is to dollar cost average, which at the end of the day means pick a regular cadence, so weekly or bi-weekly or monthly, and pick a set amount that you know you'll be able to invest on a regular basis, and then set it up so that you can invest that same amount in your portfolio every time to see if you can do this in an automated fashion. But the point is to have a regular schedule and build a habit of investing on a regular basis. All right, I think we're in the last category, which is saving, micro habits related to saving. I think I have a lot of saving tips, but the ones I'm gonna share with you on this list are just kind of random. But number 13, eat before going to the grocery store. So this might not work for everyone, but most people think differently when they're hungry. Things start to look more delicious when you're hungry. You might want to buy more things when you're hungry. So if at all possible, eat a meal or grab a snack before you hit the store, just to make sure you don't end up buying things you didn't plan for because you're hungry. Number 14, related, same topic, but make shopping lists before you go to the grocery store or even the mall or any other store. Definitely when you go to Target. Create a list so that when you go shopping, you can stay focused and search for the things that you actually went there for. Now, if you go outside of your list, of course that's fine, but at the very least, having a list gives you a guideline so that you can stay focused and you can do your best to not end up spending twice as much than you planned for. All right, we're at the end of the list. Number 15, another micro habit related to saving is to build the habit of saying no. Don't say no to everything. I don't want you to lose friends off of this, but for example, say no if your friends invite you to a movie that you don't really want to see and you don't really care to spend $25 on. Or say no to a night of drinking if you don't feel like it or because you have drinks at home. If it's something that you only kind of half-ass want to do, the last thing you want is to just say yes and then have it negatively affect your wallet and your financial progress. All right. Like I said at the beginning of the video, don't incorporate all of these micro habits all at once. That is, unless you're really trying to challenge yourself and you think you can do it. But really though, take what resonates, and I hope that these micro habits help you improve your finances. Until next time, peace out.